All right, hey guys, I'm just going to walk you through exactly what I walked you through today in class as far as setting up a graph using Excel, something that we'll do actually quite a bit. Um, so you might want to take some notes as I go through this real quick video on how to set up a really simple graph. Okay, so what we want to remember first is that we want to open up a brand new Excel sheet, and I want to take a look at the columns, which are represented with letters right up top here, and then I've also got rows which are represented here with numbers. Now what we want to remember is that no matter where I go, the left side of this tabular entry here is going to be represented with the x-axis, and here is going to be the y-axis where eventually I'm going to graph something. So what I always like to do first is type in what exactly do these values mean, and in what units are they. So for our water lab today, we looked at the relationship between volume and mass. Now the volume is going to be our x-axis because that's the thing that you were manipulating. It is the independent variable. So I'm going to put that in this first column. And then over here in the second column, I'm going to put what was responding to that change in volume, and that was the mass. That's the thing that we were actually taking readings of. Right, so right here in volume, I'm going to use Dramani's group's example again, just like we did in class. What they did is they measured 10 milliliters, they measured 20 milliliters, 30, whoops, go back up there, 30, 40, 50, and 60 milliliters. Okay. Now each one of these changes in volume represents a change or responds to a change in mass. The mass is what is responding. So for their 10 milliliters, they got a mass of 9.9 grams. 19.8 was the next value, and we had 29.6. They reached mass here of 39.5 grams, 49.7 grams, and then finally 59.5 grams. Right. So now what I can do here is just go ahead and grab these values, right? So I'm just holding down and I'm going to highlight these values that I'm interested in, and then I'm going to go up to Insert. I'm going to go to Scatter XY, this plot here, and then I'm just going to hit Scatter. And you can see what that does is it makes a nice line graph for me. And then I can open this up and make the graph a little bit larger. I just then click on any one of these data points, right? And you'll see like there's like these little dots that surround your data points. And then I'm just going to right click Add a Trend Line. Now what I also like to do is look right over here, and what I want to display is the equation, which pops up here. And then I also have my r² value, right? And I can change all sorts of formatting options using that tool as well. I like to move these down to the bottom right, so we still have access to them. We could use them if we wanted to, but they're kind of out of the way from my data set. Now what I can also do is I can go through and modify all sorts of stuff here, right? So I can change my title, in which we have change in volume of water versus mass. Right, so I've got something like that for a title. It's descriptive. I know exactly what I'm going to be looking at. I could then head up to Add Chart Element, in which I could change all sorts of stuff. In which I could change my horizontal axis if I wanted to. I could add one or not add one. So you see there, that's just taking the numbers away. I usually want to leave those numbers. I could also add axis labels. So if I had my horizontal label here, what I want to know, or what I want to do is let everybody know what we're looking at here on the X value. And this is going to be our volume in milliliters. Oops. There we go. And then I can also do the same thing over here on this axis, right? So I'm going to add my vertical axis, and then I'm just going to click on that. Okay, and then this is going to be mass, and that's in grams. Right, and now what I can do is use all sorts of values here in order to predict changes. I can look at a trend. We can do all sorts of stuff with processing of data, but here's how you make a graph on Excel, guys. Make sure to try to print these out and bring them tomorrow, or just share them with me. That's what I'm looking for, and we'll work with these a little bit tomorrow as we learn more and more about how exactly we take data, and specifically quantitative data. Then we represent that, or what we call process the data. We then from here can make all sorts of calculations and then make some inferences about what's actually going on between two variables. Okay, if you have any questions, just make sure to let me know.